Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the trade findings and adjustments for the 20th Thursday of June. I'm definitely going to recommend go back to my webinar, myhurleyinvestments.com. Listen to the Monday webinar on the 17th. We're going to piggyback that webinar into our trade findings and adjustments today. So, in general, indexes are overbought, as well as tech stocks, particularly, as I can't spell. So the next direction these positions will move is most likely where? What direction are these going to move if their indexes and especially a lot of tech stocks are particularly overbought? Which direction would you guys think they're going to move? Not a hard question. Yeah, there we go. I see downward. I see down. Bearish. I'm gonna just use bearish. We're gonna be technical. You all three of you were 100% correct. Down, bearish, downward. Yes, they're probably going to reverse. We have to make this decision based on our best educated information. Here we go. We have the S&P right here. Definitely overbought. Notice the big distance between the 50-day. This distance right here, that you should see in red, shouldn't be that big. They come and they kind of go. The markets go up and down, up and down, up and down. When you get this stretching, this movement away from the 50-day, it's usually called a standard deviation. You usually are looking for a correction of some kind. Today, we're going to use just a standard portfolio: Apple, Baidu, Disney, Google, Meta, Nvidia, Square, Under Armour. If you were to look at this portfolio, we're very tech heavy. With that said, Apple is obviously tech / retail. Baidu is international. Disney, I would call entertainment. I would also call it consumer discretionary. You're not spending money on Disney if you don't have any. It's discretionary money. Google is tech. Meta is tech. Square is financial. Under Armour is retail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we are in 7 of the 11, sectors in the S&P. With that said, obviously you could say we're weighted tech heavy. We're weighted tech heavy because of the Mag 7, and the NASDAQ has outperformed the S&P wildly in the last 10 years. But technically, we are still diversified in different sectors that have growth opportunities in them. But we're going to use these stocks today for our decision making. Apple's down big. It's only $4. But Apple is overbought. Let's take a look at Apple. I thought I had it in here. There we go. Big stretch. Overbought on the RSI. Huge difference right here. Overbought bought on the Williams percent. Now they do have, only 130 or 180 billion dollars to buy their stock. But the short answer is it looks like it's going down. Well, Kevin, it looks like the R2 pivot point is acting as support. That would be 208.82. Maybe it went down and bounced off it. Understand, pivot points are not truly support or resistance levels at all. They are just herd mentality over the last, I don't know, you'd call it over the last herd mentality over the last 30 days is what we're talking about. I would probably be looking to put some kind of out of the money put. Last traded at 210.89. So if I was looking for something on Apple, I would be doing a July. Oh, it'd probably be the end of the month. Give me a quick second here. I want to. Give me 1 second. I'm going to bring up. I'm going to bring up. Not what I'm looking for. All right, let's see how I'm going to do this. This looks a little bit different than yours. Apple, I would go down to a July 26. I'd be doing a 210. Ooh, $5. $5.10. It'd be an easy July 26, 210 long put for $5.10. Now, this isn't a 20% trade. This is a timing trade. If you don't have Apple in your account, that's okay. All you're trying to do here is do nothing more than just try to get Apple to probably back down the 195. You're looking at about a $15 drop on Apple, where you're looking to say, hey, I want to make up some of that downward movement as Apple corrects itself. Baidu, we're looking amazing. Oh, someone asked, yes. If you look at Apple and how far it's stretched from its upper highs and its trend lines, all it's done is it's bounced outside of its Bollinger Bands. That's all Apple is doing. Apple is just bouncing outside of its Bollinger Bands, and it's going to self-correct here sometime in the near future. Would I put the trade on right now? No. All of these trades would be an end of the day, last hour position that I'd be putting these trades on. Things are going to fall down even more in the next 15 minutes. I call it the East Coast lunch hour from 10:30 to 11:30 Mountain Standard Time, from 12:30 to 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. There's a lunch hour. It usually only lasts an hour, but basically 12:30 to 1:30 East Coast time, we go through a lunch hour. Volumes are lower, and it seems like things are selling off. This would be a last hour trade. Baidu, technically speaking, oversold. Lowest it's been in 6 months. It is not being bought, but if you notice, the last time on a Williams percent R, where it was undervalued, it went from 94 all the way up to 115. This is one that if I was looking at a trade, Baidu oversold and looking for a $20 pop higher, leap calls, bull calls, stock ownership would be an easy position to get into here. I also like this position because we are sitting on a huge amount of profit on the puts. We have 110 puts. I could easily buy 100 shares of Baidu right here with those profits. This is a dollar cost averaging. I've got January 25, 140 calls. Those are way out of the money. But for $1, I'll probably buy 4 or 5 more contracts here to give me an opportunity to make some more money on the way up. Disney's at a support level. If I was looking at Disney, same exact thing, but Disney only has to about 106. If you're putting a bullish trade on, only looking at about $5 higher. This would be ideal for a 100, 105 bull call. The way the chart sets up, you have support at 90, 98, can't speak, 98.19. A 100, 105 bull call would be a very wise trade on Disney. Understand we will come into earnings season in July, but for Disney, you could get that pre-earnings run, especially in summer. A pre-earnings run on Disney might go a long way for a bull call. The next earnings date is the beginning of August, a dividend payment on July 8th. So a 100, 105 bull call on Disney, easy position to be in, easy position to make some money in. And if I was going to go out in time, it would probably be a August. Well, let's take a look. Let's find out what we would do. Disney vertical and August 16th monthly. There it is. Last at 280, you'd be spending 280 to make $2.20. So it'd be an August monthly, 100, 105 bull call. Planning on taking it off before earnings. Google, I would just leave right now. I would not see a trade coming up on Google. It's like, I got to get in here. It's in no man's land. Trading sideways, no trade on Google. Some stocks you don't force a trade on. Could I do a covered call on it? Maybe, but it moves so quickly, so fast. I'm just sitting and watching Google right now. It's trading sideways. A covered call would be an idea, but I wouldn't want to cap Google. If you're trying to force a trade, you do it on Google. But in all honesty, no trade on Google. That's not going to be a good one for you. Meta. We've got Meta leap calls here in play. In this account, we have 470 540s. We got 500 550s. Looking at a chart on Meta and the uncertainty, I would not be placing a trade on Meta at this time. I don't have conviction one way or the other. Again, trying to force a trade, not good. Meta would be a no trade opportunity, technically speaking, at this time. NVIDIA. You'll notice in this account, we popped some NVIDIA in. 125.25. Nice little return. Moving higher today. Kind of shocking. And if I was to look at NVIDIA, the only play for an NVIDIA is stock ownership. It's way overbought. It's holding that R2 support level. NVIDIA, the only play would be stock ownership, looking to collar it in the near future as it's getting extended away from its 50-day. So NVIDIA is a long-term stock ownership position. Square. Holy crap, my financial. Square's upside down this one, but we do have obviously some puts that have been made against it. Sitting right at $62. Looking at Square is a difficult one because it has not come down due to fundamentals. It's come down due to news. Could get up to 87, could get to 100. Sitting here at these lows, 60, 90, 62. Coming off of oversold. Again, Square is a very tough one because it moves violently with options. If I was looking at Square, it also would be a long-term stock ownership position. And the last one we have is Under Armour. Again, upside down this account, but we've had tons of puts against Under Armour, all the way from the $27 mark on the way down. We sold half off up there when it was fully valued. Could I find another space to put $28,000 in a 600? This is actually a $720,000 account right now. Yes, I could find something else to do for Under Armour. Looking at Under Armour, pulling up a chart. Boy, it went sideways for 3 months. Most people would say it's only got an upside opportunity. Don't believe it. 727 could be a resistance. 746 could be a resistance. Could get back up to $9. Under Armour, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't have a trade for Under Armour. I don't see the opportunity there. They haven't been run by their CEOs, have just fallen on their face time and time again. So Under Armour, in all honesty, my trade would be an opportunity to sell the shares, hopefully around $9. Past history tells you this is not a position you want to jump into. Tells you it's not what you're looking to do. So today, this is just a portfolio look at how I'd be looking at a portfolio and how I would manage that portfolio using, obviously, options. I'm really looking forward to protecting to the downside. So Meta's already got protection on. Google, I could add some protection. Apple, I could add some protection. The neat thing is Square, Under Armour, and Baidu are all oversold. Disney's holding a support level and has an opportunity to run with an interesting 100, 105 bull call somewhere in that $2.80 to maybe buying to open around the $2.75 range. But that's looking at a portfolio. That's looking at how to trade or adjust within it. I still have you 12 people here. Any questions? Any questions about trade findings and adjustments? I wanted to bring a real portfolio in for you guys to look at so you could see what I see, and so you could see what I would be looking at by way of trying to position the portfolio for profitability. It's difficult. It truly is difficult. It's not an easy job to do. But this is what trade findings and adjustments is about, finding ways to adjust your portfolio for protection. Any questions you guys have for me? If I go back to my same three, Bill, James, and Abraham, helpful, not helpful, thought process. Does this help you guys looking at a portfolio, understanding how the portfolio is leveraged to technology? Was this a helpful trade findings and adjustments for you to see the thought process behind why we're in a portfolio and what we're doing? Thank you, Bill. James, with your permission, can I read that? With your permission, do you allow me to read your thing? Just type a yes in or a Y. It's kind of a small paragraph, but thank you, appreciate it. Always need to learn from someone who's been doing this for a long period of time. I worry that you're tech heavy, but I can see from past experience, that's where some of the growth has been in your portfolios that you've constructed. I like that you look towards the downside, as technically speaking, we are oversold. You probably mean overbought there. Technically, we're overbought. I like to look at the downside as technically we're oversold, which meant overbought, I'm sure. I like that you want to protect to the downside and can make something on the way down where everyone else just has to sit. Thanks for managing portfolios. Yeah, perfect. All right, well, thank you. Good. And Abraham, I haven't heard anything from you, but not a big deal. All right, guys, I'm going to call it for today. I just wanted to share with you a way to look at a portfolio, to look at where the growth has come, to look at what opportunities are out there, to once you have this portfolio, what are your next steps to protect the profits that you have on the side? It's those kind of things that I'm looking at to try to help show you guys where we're at. And this one, we obviously got out of Meta and put money into Google and NVIDIA. Notice there's no Micron in this account. If you had Meta in your account, you would have had to have a bunch of cash. You either had Micron or Meta. Meta was cheaper than, Micron was cheaper than Meta. So in this account, because we were in Meta, there wasn't capital to get into Micron. When we sold out of Meta in January, we pushed into Google and NVIDIA, and those two look really nice at the time being because they've grown pretty well. All right, guys. Hey, appreciate you being with me here today. Look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Key will cover next week. And with that said, have a wonderful summer break This is one of my weeks. I'm taking a break from the market, and I look forward to seeing you guys here in 2 weeks, not next Monday, but the Monday after. Hope this was helpful. Look forward to seeing you again, and trade smartly always. Bye-bye.